Mr. Wennick, sales and profit are within guidance for the quarter, with sales at 1.2 billion and you made a profit of 275 million. So no changes there, you could say. What would you see as the highlights for the quarter?
Well, the highlights are always that we stay within our guidance. That's always good, that you deliver according to expectations. I would say the real highlight of the quarter was the signing of the co-investment program by our three of our major customers. And that our shareholders thought that was a good idea by unanimously voting in favor of this transaction.
When we look at the figures further, the bookings are down compared to the previous quarter. How would you describe the current market trend?
The bookings were down, but not that much. But clearly the market trend is that our logic customers are still going strong. They are ramping up their 28 nanometer capacity. But we see also a clear weakness coming in the memory market, the memory customers. Because the bit growth for both DRAM and NAND has not been as strong as we expected at the beginning of the year.
On the one hand, you see cautious customers. On the other hand, you see the build-up of logic capacity. How do you reconcile those two?
The build-up of logic capacity is a strategic decision of our customers. It has to do with what we call the 28 nanometer node. That is a node for the leading edge chips that go into the mobile devices like smartphones and like tablets. And those sales are still strong. But what you're seeing is, I think it has to do with the macroeconomic situation, is that the price differences of those end products like smartphones and like tablets are driven by the memory content. So when you have, for instance, a 16 gigabit tablet, you pay a lower price than the 32. Which actually means that consumers still want a tablet, but they choose the lower end of the spectrum. And that is at the expense of the memory makers. And that's why we see memory being weak, while the number of tablets ultimately sold that have all those logic chips in there actually stays strong. So logic strong and memory weak. I think that is the main explanation of why we are where we are.
In addition, looking ahead, what are your expectations for the fourth quarter?
Yeah, fourth quarter we expect about 1 billion in sales, still driven by, like I said earlier, the logic customers. Logic customers are strong. Memory is clearly weaker, and that means that the top line in Q4 is about 200 million lower than in the third quarter.
Yeah, you expect lower gross margin, 2% lower. Why is that?
Well, that's in line with a lower top line. So when you have a lower top line, you have less coverage of your fixed cost in your factory, and that means that the gross margin is a bit lower. But that is quite in line with the historical trends.
How's your visibility for 2013?
2013 is, I think, currently marked by uncertainty as to the recovery of the memory customers. So when will memory come back? But also I think the macroeconomic certainty weighs on our customers. And it means that we're currently not yet in a position to say anything about 2013 specifically. I think we'll just have to wait another quarter. By the end of Q4, when we have our annual results, we'll probably have a bit more visibility on that.
Today you announced a takeover of Cymer, one of your suppliers of the light source for your EUV lithography program. Can you explain to us, why are you buying this company?
Well, we think EUV is extremely important for this industry. There's no doubt about it. Customers are asking for it. And we have experienced some delays with the EUV technology, and this was basically caused by the delay of the EUV source. And the source is made by this company, Cymer. We believe that combining the two companies will definitely speed up the development of this EUV source, and we'll also see a lot more efficiency in the research and development cost. Another element is we think we can simplify the supply chain, because the supply chain of Cymer overlaps with the supply chain of ASML. We think we can simplify the manufacturing and the integration process. And on top of that, Cymer has a very healthy deep UV laser business and a service business, which links very well into the business that we have, because their lasers are physically attached to in our machines. So that all in all bodes for a lot of synergy going forward.
What price do you pay for the company, and how are you going to finance the deal?
The deal will be financed by a combination of cash and shares. So we propose to pay $20 cash per Cymer share plus 1.15 ASML shares.
And how many shares will you issue for this?
We will issue just over 9% of the outstanding capital of ASML.
What does this transaction mean then for your profitability and for your earnings per share?
Yeah, we expect that we will close somewhere in 2013. It will take some time. We expect that the first 12 months after the closing, we cannot see the full benefit yet of all the synergies. So I would expect up to a maximum of about 5% dilution. But in the 12 months after that, so 24 months after closing, we would expect to see the full benefits and all the synergies coming in. And then you would see the opposite. You would see about a 5% accretion or so, an increase in your earnings per share.
Looking at Cymer, can Cymer continue to deliver its products to its customers, maybe even your competitors?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt whatsoever. The Cymer products will be available to anybody in the industry at a normal, reasonable commercial price.
Let's talk for a moment about the present situation with EUV at ASML. Scanner, light source, can you update us on that?
Yes, actually we've made good progress over the last 3 months. We have integrated our 3300 EUV scanner in this quarter or in the last quarter, and we've seen very good results. The results with respect to the imaging, what we call the overlay, are indeed such that they are basically production worthy for the next generation of the leading edge chips that our customers want to make. The only thing is that we still lack some power. We have made progress on that power, but we're well on track to deliver the 70 wafers per hour that we promised to our customers by the first quarter of 2014. So there's progress, definitely on the power roadmap, but we do the Cymer acquisition, of course, to speed that up and to make sure that by 2014 we'll definitely be there. And we have seen very good results in terms of imaging and other production requirements that our customers need for full EUV production.